This is another episode of Stand-Up Comedy, your host and MC, celebrating 40-plus years on the fringe of show business. Stories, interviews, and comedy sets from the famous and not so famous. Here's your host and MC, Scott Edwards.
Hi, and welcome back to the podcast. This week we have another great lineup of stand-up comedy for you. Closing up the show later on is a guy that was the very first act ever to hit my stage in August of 1980. This recording is from a few years after that. But a very, very funny guy known as the King of Las Vegas, George Wallace, is on the show. Also, a guy that won the San Francisco comedy competition and did a lot of TV back in the late 80s. Very, very funny young man. Michael Pritchard will be right before George. And then before him, the always controversial, always funny Dennis Miller, who you know from the Dennis Miller Show and his many television appearances. But we're going to kick things off with something a little closer to home. Back in the late 80s, I produced some very large concerts at a nice large theater here in Sacramento, in fact, the Convention Center Theater. And I did a couple with Jay Leno, Jerry Seinfeld, Dana Carvey, but I did one where the star was Harry Anderson. That's right, the magician on Cheers and Night Court. And the comic opening his show was a very funny guy that I'd been using for years. You've heard him a lot on the podcast, but we have a good long set from comic musician Sam Guttman. He's out of the Bay Area. He has hung up his guitar. He no longer performs, but a very funny guy that was a club regular and did a great job on this concert opening up for Harry Anderson. So, 4 great acts to entertain you today. Let's jump into it. Here's a long comedy set from the very talented and funny comic musician Sam Guttman.
I pissed somebody off. I'm in Lodi and I asked this guy at the gas station, hey, I'm working the club. What's the town you guys make fun of? He goes, what you talking about? So, I hit the evolutionary chain. Why don't we all get up about 8 o'clock tomorrow and meet at the Roseville auction? What do you say? Yes, you've been there, huh? Acres and acres of trash. I went there one day and went, ooh, look, rusty tools. How much? Hose them down. Okie dokie. Throw it away. Get a truck and throw it away. I was working down in Monterey recently. You been down there? Isn't that gorgeous down there? Did you go to the Monterey Aquarium? See that place? Really hot. I love the whole fish thing. And there was this really cool hands-on tide pool. You can play with the starfish and the sea urchins. Remember that? And all the little Japanese tourists were like filling their bags. Ooh, that's cruel. They don't speak English, they think hands-on means catch of the day. Oh, don't pick on the Japanese. People are always getting mad. Don't the Japanese are buying up this country. That ain't right. They're just buying it all. Well, they work hard. They got the money. Let them have it. Besides, they're just tiny people. We'll just knock them down and take it back when the time comes. I was reading the paper today. Turns out that us guys, men with low cholesterol, this is true, I don't make nothing up. Men today with low cholesterol have a greater chance of dying by violent death or accident. So I'm thinking in my infinite wisdom, somewhere out there, a couple of fat bastards in a van, eating chicken wings going, oh look, a jogger. Look, a whole team. Oh man, what's the workout? I don't work out. I'm not getting fat. My wife says I'm getting fat. Do I look fat or not? Yeah. Just one guy. You look too close from way back there, I'm sure. I'm not fat. Fat to me is when you're fat to me. When you're sleeping in bed, you got all the covers, and there's still a draft. Then you know. I was down in Old Town today. I took a walk just to check it all out. I love Old Town. It's cool. They had these cops. You see these cops? Little shorts on mountain bikes. And I kept thinking of that TV show Cops, that theme song, you know? What you gonna do when they come for you? Shit. With a bottle on my head. You gotta get a car. bicycle. So I buy this mountain bike, right? You know why they call it a mountain bike? Because you want to ride it over the first cliff and throw that piece of shit off the edge. It's a lot of work, man. Then she said, get a helmet because you're getting old. So I get this helmet with the wind scoop in the back, you know that thing? It was like putting a spoiler on a Vega. I was like, I'm aerodynamic, man. Cling, 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 cling. What was that? Remember they used to sell you that? You gotta have that for $8. Cling, cling, cling. Like that stuff to semi. Hey, cling, 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 cling. Stop! Cling, cling, cling. Remember that? So I bought one for my kids just to show them it doesn't work. They got hit by a truck. I told you that doesn't work. What's the matter with you? My kids are crazy. Kids are cool. I have 2 little daughters. They know when you're fed up with them. They can tell when you don't want to really be around. You know, like when you're reading that bedtime story and you're not in the mood, you're going, once upon a fucking time. Can I go? I love you too, bud. My daughter, when she was 2 years old, couldn't speak in a full sentence. Kids can't. It's always fragmented sentences. She would say things like, Daddy laugh, Daddy poop, ah. And one day, this complete articulate sentence came out of her mouth. I'll never forget it. 2 years old, first sentence. She's on my shoulder. We're taking a walk in the park. Mom's standing next to us. She looks over at Mom and goes, Mommy, Daddy lost me at the flea market today. Oh, no. I thought I pulled it off. Got away with it. It was just for 4 hours, honey. Did you ever lose your kid? Is it like the nightmare of the century? You're like, oh, I can't come home empty-handed. She'll kick my ass. You, come live with us for just a few days. I need her. Get away. Yes, honey. We have toys. Yes, we had a blonde child, honey. Second thing she said almost got me arrested. True story. Almost went to jail. We're in a supermarket, and it's just her and me, and I'm picking her up to put her in the shopping cart. And she screams, no, Daddy, I climb. So no, let me pick you up. I climb. Fine, climb, take all day. I am woman, go. Anyway, she slips. She falls in the shopping cart and starts screaming, oh, Daddy, my vagina hurts. But shh, quiet, honey. Shh, my vagina. She's crying. No, rub it. She's no. Buy me some cream. People like, watch him. They do it on purpose. They know. They're like the devil. They know. They're cruel. Kids are mean. I had braces for that weird jaw thing, TMJ. I just got them off 2 weeks ago. There was this 8-year-old brat sitting next to me, getting his braces on. He looks at me and goes, aren't you kind of old to have braces? I said, yeah, maybe, but when I got them on, I was your age. I bet he said no headgear, too. They are cool. My wife, she's after me. My wife's a jock and a half. She's a female bodybuilder, soon to be a male bodybuilder. She's pretty big. She's got ripples and she's real strong. As a matter of fact, when our first kid was born, it had bumps to its whole head. She just forced it out. Feel the burn. Very tough, very macho girl. Man, you guys are great. You guys getting that Elvis letters yet? The stamp with Elvis on it? Remember that other stamp they didn't use? That kind of chunky Elvis? UPS bought it, they're using it for bulk mail. Okay, that was cool. My wife's a real organic guru girl. She made me get out and buy her this tape the other day. Sounds of the Rainforest. Have you heard this tape? An hour and a half, all you hear is sounds of the rainforests. Timber! What are you doing? Then I go out and buy her this sounds of the humpback whales. What's even better? An hour and a half of this. I'm in the back going, pull! It's a political thing. You guys are so crazy. Sacramento, man. I live in San Francisco. We got a lot of a homeless problem there. You have two choices if you're out of work in San Francisco. You're either homeless or a mime. You ever notice how many mimes walking around San Francisco? I saw this mime the other day. I think he was drunk or something. He came up to me and he was like, hey, buddy. You want to see me do some mime stuff? I said, you're not supposed to talk, you're a mime. He goes, oh, I'm not very good at it. Oh, you guys are great. I brought my guitar tonight. Should we do some tunes? Think you guys need to sing along? You know, it's not a big guitar. It's a starter guitar. You don't just go out and buy a big one. I got to thinking the other day of styles of music. Wouldn't you say that the blues is totally apple pie Americana? Nobody can steal the blues, could they? It's ours. Culturally, we get to keep it forever. You see, one day, like Michael Jackson starts buying it, sells it like to India. Gandhi sings the blues. Boogie woogie blues. Buddha, Buddha, baby. My pet cobra just bit me. Think I'm turning blue. And my elephant is starving too. Tell me, Rajneesh, baby, what should I do? Come on, you guys, jump in. I'll play a little tune I wrote for my kids, a cute little song to help them go to sleep at night, because you can't beat them all the time. He's like, no, I don't hit my kid. There's organizations get real upset about it. You can't hit him. Or you can't even yell at him. Case in point, things have gotten way out of hand. Case in point, last year my daughter slipped on the gravel driveway. She bopped her head, her eyeball got this big. Kids fall, right? That's their job. Next day we're at the store together and an old lady sponsor her. She looks at me and goes, hey, mister, what happened to your daughter's face? What can I say? I'm like, well, they gotta learn to listen. Let me live. Anyway, here's the tune. Helps them go to bed. We call it the Nine-Nine song. One more time. Nine-Nine song. Once there was a little girl. She could not sleep. She tossed and twirled. So her daddy brought a monster in. Now she never leaves her bed. It works really good. My wife, Miss Demure, she wrote her own verse last month. It goes, don't open the closet door, you might make that monster sore. He'll suck your eyes, rip out your hair, no, he wears no underwear. Kids can't take a naked monster for too long. Is that evil? I inherited that evil streak from my dad. He used to come in my room when I was a kid. I go, Dad, can you shut the closet door before you go? He go, why, Sammy? There's no hand in there. Oh, I'm sleeping with you bastard. Move over, Mom, you big sweat hog. It's always Steve, man. It's not his fault. He had like a plate in his head. Actually, it was Kaiser. It was a paper plate. I guess you've been to Kaiser, huh? What seems to be the problem? I had a cold 3 weeks ago. I'm fine now. How can you sit in the lobby? A lot of people wonder what my nationality is. They can never guess. You want to take a crack at it? Go ahead. Armenian. Great. Where else? Portuguese? No. Italian. You'll never guess. I'll tell you what it is. Nobody ever guesses. I'm actually an African Jew. It's not funny. It's what we are. We're African Jews. And as a matter of fact, my great-great-grandfather was Kunta Wiesenthal, famous Jewish dancer. This country. Travel a lot. I always worry about my wife, so I get her this can of mace the other day. Mace? You guys have mace here? No. Look at the ingredients in the back of mace. You know what it is? It's just concentrated cayenne and curry powder. That's all it is. Just be my luck. I'll be in LA mugged by some Hindu guy who goes, I don't care how many spices you throw on me. Reggae music? Into reggae? I don't play any, I'm just curious. Let's all learn some Jamaican. Let's all do something together. Let's all be Jamaican. Everyone say, yeah, man. No, like you mean it. Say, yeah, man. Say, Irie. Say, take the trip to Babylon. Come on, say it, Mom. Come on, you say it. Your hair will grow back. Go on. Say ganja. Take a hit. Go like that. Really? No, your hair will grow back. Take a hit. This has nothing to do with the show. I was at the airport reading this article the other day, Cosmopolitan, and it was actually in your favor, and I was just flying, and it said about being bald. It said being bald-headed today was actually considered like a solar panel to your sex drive, so pretty cool, right? Too bad it doesn't work at night, though, huh? Say it, ganja. Go like that. I was gonna get my dad high. Go ahead, try it. I don't smoke pot anymore. Remember the first time you smoked pot? You didn't even know you were high? You know, I've been smoking pot with you guys for like 3 weeks. I got nothing to show for it but this big hand and this little hand. That's all I got. Or you'd be laughing for hours going, stop it, man! My cheeks are killing me! Stop it, man! And you're all by yourself. More for me, man. What was I doing? Oh, forget that. How about I teach you some Jamaican nursery rhymes? Teach our children later? Say yaman. All right, Jamaican nursery rhyme by Reggie J. Bagneri Varnithar. Little Miss Muffat. Little Miss Muffat, she sat on a log and a long, long spider sat down alongside her. He said to her, boo, baby. That's it. It loses something in the translation. One more, you'll never get this one. I knew this white woman, she lived in a shoe. Because there's no work in America no more, only oppression within the power structure. Too political? Okay. One more. Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on a rock. Humpty Dumpty had a beep. All the king's horses and all the king's men say, hey, Humpty, did it swing in the wind, man? Hi, I'm Tom Bodell from Motel 6. Next time you get in a little fight with your old lady and she kicks you out of the house, come on down to Motel 6. Because we're always in the shittiest neighborhoods, so you won't have any problems picking up that hooker for the evening. Just tell her Tom sent you and we'll leave the red light on for you. I grew up in the Woodstock generation. That was my time. What a great time that was. All my favorite songs were being sold at TV commercials. That's crapola. I'm waiting for Bob Dylan to go commercial. I'll kill myself. One day you'll be watching the TV and Bob will be up there going, lay across my orthopedic mattress with new high-tension coil springs. That you get a pillowcase. It'll happen. See Neil Young song out? He'll do it. Anything for money. 10 years from now. Oh man, look at your life. I'm a lot like you. Prudential. One more, I gotta get out of here. Something you'd never expect. What Jimmy Page selling out? Led Zeppelin doing like maybe a Trojan condom ad? That'll happen. There's a condom that glows. Has veins and it grows. You figure out the rest. I'm out of here. Thank you guys. It was really fun. Joyce and everyone in the car.
Well, you can see why Sam was one of the regulars at our club, Laughs Unlimited, and he did such a great job with his concert opening up for comic musician Harry Anderson. Sam Guttman is a very talented guy. He had some very funny material and some fun music to go along with it. I know you enjoyed that set. Okay, coming up now, I'm going to play back-to-back a short set from a guy that played my club many times, went on to a fair amount of fame and fortune, Dennis Miller, and a very funny guy. He only played my club once, but he was a Northern California standard, won the San Francisco comedy competition, and a very funny guy back in the mid-'80s. Michael Pritchard. So we're going to have two comics back to back here. Michael Pritchard, and coming up right now, let's welcome to the stage, Dennis Miller.
Thank you. Nice to be here. So I'm a comedian. That's my job. Now, jobs are funny. There are no hard, fast rules on making it to the top, but a rule of thumb is if you make it to age 35 and your job still involves wearing a name tag, you've probably made a serious vocational error somewhere along the line. Yeah. I'm married. I've been married around 9 months. I noticed subtle sexual problems creeping into the marriage. My wife's dropping little hints that everything isn't quite what she would like it to be. For instance, last night I was feeling kind of frisky. I hop into bed, and she's lying there in a shark cage, and I'm banging my snout up against the cage. She's sticking me with that prod, you know, and all the guys on the Calypso are laughing at me. I don't need that. So I'm staying out on Long Island with friends. I got up early this morning, had breakfast at the International House of Pancakes. And, you know, as soon as you walk into the place, there's that distinct worldwide feel, huh? I was baffled by the complex international menu, so I just had the flapjack du jour, and, you know, my syrup steward helped me with the selection. I had a very dry maple, busy but never precocious. I'm driving into the show tonight. I stop at a 7-Eleven. The man in front of me orders a big gulp. Now, do I need 32 ounces of any fluid? This drink has an undertow. What do you dock your jet ski in this thing? I mean, who do they think is that thirsty? I guess this is for the guy who walks right off the surface of the sun directly into the 7-Eleven. You know, I'm a little parched, Habib. Having a depth chart size drink back then. Now they have something called a super big gulp. I can only imagine they must back a tanker truck up to your house and jam a nozzle down your throat and start irrigating you like some personalized Tennessee Valley Authority project or something. Flew in yesterday from L.A. Whenever I travel, I go by plane. I don't trust trains. I never have. Even as a young boy, I was skeptical. I remember those old movies where somebody would get on the train. Halfway through the journey, they'd reach up above the window, yank down on that cord. Yeah, you know, I don't think I ever want to be on any form of mass transit where the general public has access to the vehicle's brakes. I'd hate to find out we went off the tracks at 200 miles an hour because Gus thought he saw a woodchuck. I guess the big story in New York is Bernard Goetz has finally gone to New York subway vigilante, shoots 4 kids because they ask him for $5. You know, I'm not a legal expert. I don't know if this man's guilty or innocent, but I can pretty well guarantee none of his friends are going to be bumming money off him in the near future. I'd say Bernie's just a little tense, huh? You don't want to ask this cat to go Dutch. Huh? You know, I saw in the news last night, unbelievable. Walter Mondale finally resurfacing after a bad political defeat. You know, it's been a while. I don't remember the final count, but I know when I went to bed, Reagan had 598 electoral votes. Mondale had 3, which, if you think about it, is only 3 more than I had, and I didn't even run, you know? Well, thank you for bordering on applause. But, you know, this guy spent $20 million, and I almost tied him. So, that's got to hurt, huh? So Reagan's our president. Reagan's a nice man, good leader. He's getting up there, though. Got to keep an eye on him. I think when a man gets to be 70, we ought to start voting on him at the end of each week. Every Sunday night, do it over the telephone like MTV, 50 cents a call. You want Reagan, you want David Lee Roth. Let the people speak. You realize at the end of this next term, Reagan will be 77 years old. 77. And he has access to the button. You know, my grandfather's 77. We won't let him use the remote control for the TV set. Good night.
Hi, good to see all of you. You know, it's funny. I am one of those guys, I guess, what you refer to as a Peter Pan. I guess I never grew up, you know? And my mom used to get mad at me for things I used to do. You know, I used to do all kinds of wacky things. You know, she'd say, oh, for God's sake, don't make that face like that. Someday your face is going to freeze that way. And I used to do these frog faces at her. I like walking up behind tourists, you know, in San Francisco and barking at them, you know. Hey, Tom, where do you want to have lunch today? I don't know, Fred. Where do you want to have lunch? I like walking up and going, row, 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 row. What's wrong with you? Nothing. It's okay for me to do this. This is San Francisco. You know those kind of things. Personally, I like getting pulled over by the police. It's lovely, you know? Police. Step out of the car, please. I always get out of the car like this. We are the boys from Wacko Farm. We didn't need to do any harm. We were only having fun, so we got bitch and everyone. Get back in the car, please. It's great to be able to do those kind of things. You know, you can do those, I guess, just about anywhere you want, you know. I do them around little kids all the time. I like to have fun with little kids. You know, I goof around and play games and stuff. And there are lots of different types of kids I like to play with. You know, they come over to my house all the time. Hey, Mike, you want to play? Sure. We go around out. I came from a family of big guys, and we used to all love to play with kids. You know, my brothers were strange. You know, I used to love to get my brothers arrested by the police, you know. We'd be pulling out. I'd see a police car on the side. I'd yank my handkerchief out of my back pocket, tie it around my mouth, put my hands behind my back, and beat my face out the window just as we passed the police car. Help me! Help me! Now the car don't move. Oh, man, that's my brother, man. We're just fooling around. It's okay. No, shoot him! Shoot him! He kidnapped me! But, you know, we do those goofy things, you know, and I like going down. When we go out, my brothers and I, we like to goof around and play games and stuff. You know, we were kids that never grew up. I love little kids. They come over the house, you know. Let's go out and play. You ever go out with little kids, though? What gets me is, you ever see this? When you're chasing after them, they go, yeah, 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 yeah. All over the world, children do that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Where does that come from? I know. Maternity wards all over the world, they play it just as the children are born, you know? In Germany, they play, nya, 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 nya. In Sweden, it's nya, 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 nya. In England, it's nya, 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 nya. Little Chicano kids in my neighborhood go, nya, 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 nya. I love doing that stuff, though, you know? I like little kids, though. You know, we go down to the park, we'll be playing around. Little kids, they don't like to play guns with me, though. That's what gets me, you know? They'll go, all right, Mike, we're gonna play guns. Let's go. Zing, zing. Can't even beat me at Cowboys and Indians because I always go, hey, no, Secretary, hawk to a shot. Come on, now. See these little kids standing there going, you know, I go running down the park all the time, you know, and I see kids from juvenile hall. They're always over there smoking funny stuff in the bushes, you know. They see me running by. I'm doing normal things, you know, things like... You've done it again, you know. They see me out there. These kids from juvenile hall, they go, you know, there's something wrong with that Pritchard dude, man. I mean, the lights are on, man. Nobody's home, man. Somebody blew the dots off his dice, man. You know, I love the little 3-year-olds, and, you know, like scaring them. I'm gonna eat your face. Unfortunately, they've wet their pants at that point. I was like little fat kids, too. You ever see them? Grape Kool-Aid stains here, dried mayonnaise on the front of their shirts, little belly buttons that stick out. You can always hear them coming up behind you because they got corduroy pants on. Wait up, Mom. My crotch is starting to catch on fire. Thanks very much. You've been a great audience.
Oh, Michael Pritchard was so funny. He had such a great way with the audience, and he had a great personality. He was kind of always perpetually young. He was really good with children. In fact, he left comedy to work with children back in the late 80s, early 90s. Very talented comic, though. That was Michael Pritchard. Before him, we had a fun short set by Dennis Miller. I know you recognize the name. He had his own show, The Dennis Miller Show, and has done a lot on TV. But that was Dennis Miller and Michael Pritchard, and it was so great to be able to work with those guys and know those guys back in the day. Okay, our short closing set is coming from the guy that actually inaugurated my club. He was the very first headliner in August of 1980 when I opened Laughs Unlimited. By the way, as a reminder, the opening act, making $100 for the week, was Gary Shandling at his first road gig out of Arizona. The show was Gary Shandling, a comic magician named Peter DePaula, and then the headliner, George Wallace. A really funny guy. He had his own theater in Las Vegas for over a decade. Let's hear a little bit of his comedy. Ladies and gentlemen, George Wallace.
Hello, good evening, how you doing? That's great, that's what we're here for, to have a good time. Greetings from New York City. You ever notice you mention New York City or Chicago, people always applause? How about a hand for the great people right here in the state of California? That's good. That's good, because you people are the people I want to talk to. Why do you people drive so fast? Where's everybody going in such a hurry? Everybody's going zoom, zoom, like a bat out of hell. There's a game out here you people play. You drive and cuss. You got hand signals and everything. And you all like to play this game. That's why you all live 50 miles from where you work. Just so you can play the game. Now, I don't believe in drugs, but I do think there should be a pharmacist on every on-ramp to give you suckers 2 Valium just to calm you down before you get on that freeway. Huh? Everybody's driving like crazy. One thing you got in California we don't have back in New York. Put your foot on the street, everybody stops for you. What a law. Put your foot on this. That thing fascinates me. Sometimes for the hell of it, I just go. Now, you try that in New York. Your head would be a hood ornament. Can you picture my head on a white Rolls Royce? And Rolls, I have never seen so many Rolls, Mercedes, Porsches in my life. Gas guzzlers. We've got to get rid of these gas guzzlers. What we need are disposable cars. We need big cars. Gillette cars. Drive them around for 2 weeks, they run out of gas, throw them away. Matter of fact, everything should be disposable, right? We should even have disposable girlfriend and boyfriend. Use them once, get rid of them. Just like in real life. Crazy world, isn't it? Crazy world. And I got my driver's license not too long ago out here. Crazy questions on the test. Question 14, you took the test. It says, if an old man is walking across the street, what do? A, swerve. B, apply brakes. C, teach him a lesson. It's a crazy world. And you know what? I thought all the freaks lived in New York City. You got some freaks right here in California. Yes, especially in Hollywood. Everybody's a freak in Hollywood. Even the doctors are freakish in Hollywood. You ever go to a doctor in Hollywood, he gives you a shot, gives himself one too. Even the churches are freakish. I went to one church, they had 6 commandments and 4 do the best you can. They're all freaks. I don't even want to mention the freakish LA cops. Did you read last month where the cop shot this man and killed him, then the cop said it was in self-defense because the man was on his way home to get a gun? They're all freaks. Now, don't misunderstand me now. We still have some freaks back in New York. Yes, we do. A freak came up to me last week in Central Park and put a gun right to my head. He says, who are you for, Reagan or Carter? I thought about it for a minute. I said, go ahead and shoot. Go ahead and shoot. It's a crazy world. Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special, the beer that we pour Must say something more, so tonight, let it be low and brown. Don't you like that commercial? Especially when the guy walks up, he says, I'll have a steak and low and brown. And the father says, son, what's the occasion? He says, I'm buying dinner for the man who put me through college. I did the same thing. I walked up, I said, I'll have a chili dog and a bottle of Ripple. My father said, son, what's the occasion? I says, I'm buying dinner for the man who told me to quit high school. Crazy world. You know, when I'm walking the streets of Beverly Hills at 3 o'clock in the morning and the cops pull a gun on me, my teeth have got to be their whitest. Hills and you walk the street 3 o'clock in the morning, the cops be all down in your pants going, I know you got a television on you somewhere. It's a crazy world. Some of the crazy things, I just flew out here on one of those discount airlines, $99. Now with a fare like that, you know they're cutting back on something. First of all, you got to bring your own toilet paper. You see, the airline doesn't have a schedule. It just waits till like 200 or 300 people get together and they say, where you going, mister? Chicago? Go ahead and get on. How about you, mister? Where you going? Cleveland? Go ahead and get on. We don't stop, but we'll push you off. Go ahead. Go ahead. And we're flying along for about 2 hours. The pilot comes back, wakes me up and tells me it's my turn to fly the plane. What do you mean, my turn to fly the plane? He says, with the fell, everybody's got to take turns flying the plane. I said, what about that blind guy over there? He says, don't worry about him. He already flew his 2 out. I hate these discount airlines. You see, they not only lose luggage, they lose passengers. I heard the man explaining, now, listen, I know your mother was on this flight. But these things happen. So you just have to file a claim. Then he took out a little chart and said, did she look like any of these other mothers here? Was she a new bag or an old bag? I hate these cheap discount airlines. I flew one about 3 months ago up to Tahoe. I'm up there at Sahara Hotel. 1,800 people in the room, still snowing, believe it or not. I asked the question, anybody ski today? Yeah, we ski. Some dumb in the audience stands up, shouts out, how come you don't see more black people skiing? I told him, hell, I guess it's hard to ski with a pole in one hand and a radio in another, you know?
Oh, man, that brings back memories. George Wallace was always a high-energy, fun guy that provided good, clean material and always entertained the audiences. And he ended up being quite a celebrity in Las Vegas. And to have him as the first headliner ever to work my club was a real honor. He did come back and work several more times, but that first show in August of 1980 was a big deal to me. And I always appreciated George and his advice. By the way, I met George Wallace through my friends Dave Coulier and Bob Saget, and it was just incredible how they helped me get the club started, and introducing me to George was a whole part of that history. All right, well, we hope you enjoyed the stand-up comedy show this week. We had Sam Guttman, Dennis Miller, Michael Pritchard, and we just heard George Wallace. And thanks for listening to the podcast week after week. It means a lot to me, and we hope you're enjoying listening to it as much as I'm enjoying bringing the stand-up comedy to you. Have a great week. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Stand-Up Comedy, Your Host and MC. For information on the show, merchandise, and our sponsors, or to send comments to Scott, visit our website at www.standupyourhostandmc.com. Look for more episodes soon and enjoy the world of stand-up comedy. Visit a comedy showroom near you.